Berlusconi managed a 0-0 draw in the clash against Getafe. It was a feisty affair. Mundo Deportivo described it as an embarrassment, talking about the officiating. This is what Xavi had to say after the game. It's normal that people don't want to watch football. This was barely a match. If this is the league's product that we're selling, it's an embarrassment, completely. That is the message tonight. Everyone has seen it has to be said. We shouldn't be kept quiet. The referee allowed all sorts, sent me off at the first chance and invented Xavi's handball. The time wasting was shameful. I imagine it depends which team you support. It's how you react to that, Alex.
I mean, we've heard this sort of thing before from Xavi, hasn't we? Xavi is a purist, I think is one way of putting it. He thinks there is one way to play football, that is the right way, and he thinks the way that Getafe play football is the wrong way. Now, I will defend Getafe's right to play however they want to play, as long as it's within the rules. Do I enjoy watching it? No, I don't, not very much, but they're entitled to do it. And I think Xavi, this was a bit of deflection from Xavi, really, because Barca didn't play particularly well and didn't create enough chances. And yes, they might feel a little bit hard done by that penalty decision right at the end. And yes, this situation it was a total of 26 added minutes of time added on in this game in total. 10 minutes in the first half, ended up being 16 minutes in the second half. Yes, that is absurd, but Barca had all that time and they weren't able to do enough with it. I think that Xavi should probably be a little bit more focused on that rather than criticising Getafe and criticising the referee and criticising La Liga.
I do have an issue with other coaches complaining about the way other teams play, because, and Alex has pretty much summed it up, is not everybody can be the Man Cities and the Barcelonas and the Bayern Munichs et al. of this world. But where I can sympathise with them was all the off-the-ball stuff, in which one or two of his team were involved, but only really after being baited, which doesn't make it right. But the bulk of it came from Getafe. So I don't have a... Listen, do I want to watch Getafe playing defensively? No, not particularly. But that happens, otherwise you're going to get spanked. You know, if you open up, you're going to... But I do have a problem that with the officials not clamping down on all the off-the-ball stuff. That was the big problem for me, which I think is maybe part of Xavi's argument, not the whole of Xavi's argument. I think it's a generalisation he's thrown out there. But we watched it. Well, you were off yesterday. When we sat here and watched the game, the off-the-ball stuff was galling. I mean, it was terrible, and the officiating in this game was just utterly horrendous.
And it's down to the officiating, though,
right?
Because if you're Getafe and you can get away with stuff, and the referee's not doing anything about it, you're going to keep doing it,
right?
I mean, and why not?
But the referee lost control early in this game, didn't he? It was clear.
You've got to get control to lose it.
Right.
I mean, it was just horrible from the get-go. And as I said, you can't blame Getafe if they can get away with it. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Play toe-to-toe and get beat 5 or 6? No, you do what you've got to do to get a result. And if the referee is going to let you elbow people and pull them and push them, whatever it may be, and not pull you up on it, then I'm going to do it. He would have done it 100%. So this is all down to the officials, 100%.
I thought they should have had a penalty at the end, but that was subjective because there was a very close chest stroke hand from Xavi, inadvertently, and I think most of us thought it was a penalty. But you had Ronald Araujo grabbing the ball like a goalkeeper, right? When he thought it was going over his head, well, it was going over his head for a throw-in, which was an automatic booking. The referee didn't book him, and it was bonkers. But then I've not heard Xavi talk about his player, Rafinha, elbow, basically chicken wing as Ali called it, but elbow the Getafe player straight in the head, which was, by the way, the worst incident of the whole day.
And that one the referee got right.
That one the referee did get right. It was probably the only thing, or one of the few things he got right in the game. So, yeah, you can look at Getafe and their tactics, which were beyond the pale. But you have to look at your own players and, as Alex said, their performance. I mean, we hardly saw Pedri and Gundogan for big chunks of the match. Rafinha had a couple of chances. He left Xavi out, which wasn't a great surprise. Oriol Romeo's in there now. He's tidy, but he's certainly no Sergio Busquets, we know that. And Robert Lewandowski got physically manhandled by those two big centre-halves. But Xavi has to look at his own players and his own performance and his own lack of discipline. If teams are going to bait Rafinha and others, and they're going to react every week, they're going to get red cards.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.